Hello, good morning. How's everyone doing today? I'm just getting my color guide that I wanted to use today up. There we go. Morning, illegal granola. Thanks for joining. I'm on a slightly different setup today, so I'm trying to just get the PDF that I'll be working off of today downloaded. It's taking a little extra longer than I thought it would. But yeah, this is the setup, so I can basically, if I'm holding anything, I can show it pretty clearly on the camera. I can pretty much do what I would normally would, and I think it can be seen. It's kind of rough right now. I think maybe in the future I can look into zooming in, maybe. But I think this is a pretty good proof of concept, at least for today, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm actually using, pretty wild, I'm using my webcam, still a webcam, but then what we were looking at is actually my phone, the Pixel. So that's pretty amazing, actually. Amazing what you can do. There we go. Awesome. Then we need buff, and then we're going to desaturate with some white. And mix a little bit of pastel blue. Good to me. Alright, then. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's kind of amazing what you can get accomplished with a smartphone these days. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is we're going to be getting this, we're trying to get this shade of beige on the miniature right now. So, to do that, I've been mixing this each time I do it. Ideally, I would do it in probably a single session, but this is fine too. So what we're going to be doing is we'll be taking, this Vallejo's buff, and then we'll be desaturating it some with some white, and then we'll be also adding a little bit of pastel blue to it, because this comes out a little bit orange and very strong. We're going to use this horrendous brush that I have that's on its last legs. we'll probably be doing quite a bit of this today, if not the entirety of this stream, because I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, as you can see. So pretty intense amount of them that we'll need to be doing today. But we'll see. You know, fingers crossed. Go do a little bit of blue, just a tiny bit for now. I don't want to do too much on accident. Be adding some heavy amount of water to this to thin it down. So yeah, so one of the things about miniature painting is that you can use like standard paints, like, you know, Vallejo and stuff like that. They use a specific range called model color, but you also see it like in game color that we typically use, because they have the right levels of pigmentation for painting these. So the reason you use these specific like ones is because of the level of pigmentation. It's like you need like a pretty dense level of pigmentation, because you're gonna be, my understanding at least, because you're gonna be watering your paints down quite a bit, because they come out very thickly and you need to put them down in a very thin coat on the miniature. Otherwise it kind of clumps up and pools onto the onto all the details and stuff like that, and then you won't be able to see, say, I don't know, like let's say the visor has some indentations or something on that. If your paint comes on too thick, that all those details go away. So you're essentially trying to get like that very thin spray paint, or, you know, what would be a better analogy, like maybe like a airbrush coat onto it. Anyway, let's see how the setup is. We're gonna use our nicer brush now, and we're just trying to paint, kind of like our example one here. We're trying to paint quite a majority of the armor, actually. So, continue where we left off. The plan after this is we'll be actually using a sort of wash. We're going to be using Citadel contrast paints, but we're going to be using a wash. I should probably mention it in like the credits of my channel that we're going to be doing pretty much anything that I do is going to be Sarastro's guides. He's a really good like miniature painter, like tutorial creator. He's really good. He's like perfect for these types of things, because he like a renaissance man. He can do video, he knows how to video edit, he knows how to compose, he knows how to paint. So he like literally everything on his channel is his, so he doesn't have to like credit anyone. He just writes his own music, edits his own videos, and gets to get credit for all of it. It's really cool. One-man production army. We went over this back section with some brown earlier. Now we're just selecting out only the part that we want to be brown, which is these central panels on the back. multi-tack's being a little bit difficult with us today. There are these really fancy miniature holders by Games Workshop. There are people that make Warhammer. So if you go to Dragon's Lair and you see those big tables where everyone's like play on the left when you walk in, that's like pretty much majority is going to be Warhammer. That company is like sort of the, I don't know what the right analogy is, but they're like one of the major like gaming groups that pushes like painting and stuff like that. So they make a lot of products for miniature painting. And you'll see a lot of content creators have these special miniature holders. They're like a giant brace that you put the base of the miniature in, and it's just like huge, you know, like goblet vice thing that you can then hold as you like paint it. But I figured out this, I learned this solution way before that came out. So we just use film canisters or wine corks, stuff like that. Wine corks are actually especially nice because sometimes you have to rebase the miniature, and when you do so, you cut it off the base, right, and you'll put it onto a new one. And when you do that, glue is sometimes not sufficient for like making sure it's gonna stay on the base through like messing with it and playing with it in a game. So you'll typically do something called pinning, where you take like pieces of a paper clip and you drill them into the feet, and then you drill also those feet will now be like pinned into the base if you drill into the base as well. So wine corks in that situation are especially good because you can like pre-pin everything, get all the miniatures set up before you even start painting, you know, get all that stuff drilled into its feet and everything, and then you just like stab the feet into the wine cork and it's all ready to good to go. Getting used to this camera setup. Who else is hanging out with us today? Oh, thanks, Illegal Granola. Yeah, gotta keep talking on these streams, even if you have music. Miniature painting's pretty fun. It was really funny. Like Keely's, you know, relatively into makeup. You know, it was pretty interesting talking with her about it because makeup and miniatures have a lot of the same conceptual term. Like you'll prime your face, like you have a facial primer, and then you have like an undertone, which is this similar to like a base coat, or like a foundation, I guess, is like your base coat, and then you'll do like literal highlighting and contouring. Like that's actually just the entirety of what miniature painting is, which is pretty funny. Like it's the same concepts of taking a 3D object and, you know, doing something through your paint, your colors, that makes it pop a little bit more. trying to carefully work our way around the gun here. I've already done pretty much all my work on the gun. So, make this mistake here, we'll need to improvise. I feel pretty good about that. Legal Granola, are you doing some painting of your own right now, or some sort of art? Ed? Sorry, I know you have to put your stuff down in order to respond, so. Back. That's better. Whoa, that's pretty cool. What is the process like for animating a GIF like that? Is it, how many frames typically? I guess, is it like you're doing the art for multiple frames, and then you just kind of link them all together? Like how many panels or images is involved in that? pretty easy. You just duplicate layers and change the color for the next frame. Oh, I see. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I'll have to try that out sometime. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I think the last time I worked on these guys was during the blackout. I think that's why, not the blackout, but during like the winter freeze storms, because that's the only way I can explain why it looks like I was doing this in the dark. Let's do some of the not so fun parts, like the inner arms, the chest panel. I decided to leave the arms on this time, sort of as a experiment or a little test for myself. I think I might have been better served having the arms on temporarily, at least for this step, and then taken off. Piece. Do I naturally have a steady hand? No, I don't naturally have a steady hand. When I first started, I had a really, I think I naturally have a very shaky hand, and I think it's like anything else. I think I've been doing this for a while enough now that I've sort of built up the requisite muscles in my hand, and I've sort of learned how to hold it the brush in a way that keeps it steady. But naturally, when I first started, I was very shaky. Like even like doing like this panel, I would be like shaking really hard or something, and just it honestly terrified me. But I think it's a combination of like calmed down a little bit. Like one of the tips I heard when I was starting out was like to have a glass of like some strong alcohol next to you and just like sip on it as you're painting. But I think it's also like you build up the muscles in your hand for holding the brush, and then you get a little better that way. Like when I do certain exercises, if I haven't exercised in a long time, I'll be shaking super hard, and I think that's sort of the same concept probably. But no, I've also I do this trick. I found this trick where I take my about right here on my forearm, I'll brace that against the table. So I kind of have this very specific setup where my chair is very low, the table almost comes to my like mid chest, and then when I need to do something, I'll just like brace my forearm against the table, and it like helps a lot because now I don't have to keep my arm steady, I just need to keep my hand steady. So that helps a lot as well, like just bracing techniques and stuff like that. So, and then regarding the brush, especially for like these really hard to reach areas or just anything that you need to be super precise, I typically just visualize like not just where I'm putting the paint, but like what is my approach gonna look like for say going into a gap or something. So I'll like visualize how I need to like thread it through, and then if you don't go super fast, then it works out pretty well there. So yeah, I definitely had to practice a bit on it, but I think if I thought about having a steady hand, it would probably start shaking. Way down here. Also definitely did not. Yeah, maybe, for surgeons, like, funnily enough, when I was studying violin, I heard that a lot of famous surgeons actually have, like, also happen to usually be some sort of, like, musicians as well. So, for example, my violin teacher would tell me about this really famous surgeon that he met that, like, had a passion for playing violin as well, and he was actually really good at violin, but he was like a casual player, and you realize like, oh, like I wonder if all those like muscles he built up in his fingers and stuff, and all that like, you know, technique for holding a surgeon's implement and stuff like that, he was wondering like, oh, I wonder if that like has any overlap for him, you know. Probably does. I mean, it's probably a lot of like technique and not technique, but like just yeah, like technique for working with your hands, I guess, and kind of determining what works when you hold it and what doesn't work. I don't think it makes you necessarily naturally good at it automatically. I think it's just that you might have a higher affinity for it. Yeah, exactly. Take a sip to calm your nerves. That's pretty funny. Like, I wonder, I wonder for like really good surgeons, how many of them can get away with really weird quirks that may not even, that would be frowned upon, but like they're so good it works for them, Okay, not doing those inner. I actually tried that alcohol trick, but I found out that I'm just not good at sipping alcohol. So I'd either forget to drink it at all, or I would like drink it and I'd drink way too much at once. At least while multitasking. My mom would probably be, in a way, very disappointed see that I've probably got better technique for holding my brush than I do for holding a pencil or a pen. My handwriting is still atrocious because of that. Like I hold like, I'm not this bad about holding pencils, but I hold them in a really bad way. It's funny that the one thing I hold properly doesn't have anything to do with writing necessarily. Alright, good enough for now. Let's do that tiny strip. Tiny little strip. That looks way better. I hate this mid chest plate area. It's so awkward to get painted. Makes me think I'm gonna ruin my brush. Probably am. Not really supposed to be base coating with these nice brushes. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I think it's really funny that Ben, like, jumped so headfirst into this game. Like, he bought, like, several $100s worth of these figures and all the paint and stuff necessary to start painting them. And then he just, like, dived headfirst into it and just started painting them up. And it's like really funny. Just shoot, nicked it. I'm gonna fix that later. But like, yeah, he's just like fearless and just jumping into it and stuff. Maybe all very cool. Just tunes. Let me double check. Yeah, he when I was looking for people to start playing the game with me, he was one of the only people that like pretty earnestly wanted to try it. And okay, yeah, he was one of the only people that like really found it interesting, I guess. But yeah, so then he decided he liked it, so he just like, I think I'm gonna get my own figures, and he just like jumped into it. So he's been pretty headfirst into it. It's pretty impressive. We're gonna put on the wash quickly into one. Both to this section that I think I just missed, and then also to try and correct a mistake that I just made. Mistake, I don't think that's going to correct it as we'll try. Yeah, paint pottery or paint party. I would be down to do either actually, but yeah, like I'm down to do like an art party or something. That's pretty left field from what the group usually does. That's would be a nice change of pace for sure. Alright, use our crappy brush for this one. Gotta use the bad brush for this one because these paints, these contrast paints are more like a liquid. So because of that, it's like they'll go up the brush tip into the ferrule, the base of it, and they also are just like impossible to get out of your brush. So they basically just ruin the brush steadily. So being selective of whether you're using an old or a new brush. This one's the retired one that I've had a long time actually, but retired now. So that didn't help a bunch, but it toned it down a little bit. So we'll probably just hit that with a little bit of brown later. Touch that up. Yeah, that definitely looks a lot more like it's supposed to. I just missed that tiny little bandolier. I mentioned to my mom that I was trying like amateur content creation. She told me that she would watch if I played a bunch of retro games. Pretty funny. That sounds pretty much in line with the type of stuff she specifically requested that I play Legend of Zelda. Yeah, she's funny. She actually, she tried watching the Tekken videos, and she said she just couldn't figure out what was going on, so she stopped watching. I thought that was the funniest thing. Yeah, she's, I want to get a video capture card for my PC, and once I do, I can actually pretty effectively stream like any console. And then yeah, like give me a good excuse. Maybe after I finish doing these Resident Evil games I'm currently doing on Thursdays, I can like do a different playthrough, like on a console. But those have been super fun. Like there's definitely, I don't know if it's like one of those waiting games where you finally just get lucky and someone comes in, or if it's like a certain amount of regularity and Twitch starts to promote you or something. But it's really exciting when like unexpected people come and show up and they start hanging out and like chatting a bunch and stuff. It's like we had like a super hype session on Thursday because of that like really exciting stream. Like we had this boss fight that we were about to lose, and then this huge glitch happened and we ended up winning anyway, and everyone was getting really hype about it, and it was really exciting because like you're essentially like celebrating it with like borderline strangers, like sometimes total strangers. That was pretty cool. Very, very neat that you can even do that these days. That side. Okay, we're getting a little bit scrappy on this section, but I think it's the only part that's really supposed to be brown on this is like the super center band. Oh, sticky tack. It's looking like a nice day. I'm gonna be going hiking today, so that's a good thing. I'm going somewhere in South Austin. I don't remember where specifically. Keely set it up, but that looks good. For the most part, I have some go on that, but dang, this is getting me really nostalgic to do some Breath of the Wild or something. Just hold out until the new one. Dang. I forgot how just relaxing and just amazing that game is. This would be a fun one to learn on the piano. Good. Let's do these shin guards, and we'll look into going over it with a second coat, so we get a really solid base layer down before we do any shading in the future. Shin guards are also a little bit finicky with their texture, but once we get this base layer down, future sessions, when we get the shading down, it's going to look super good, because all that shade is just really playing. Bring out the details a lot. good. This last back part of the leg. I just realized I missed a message from you, Illegal Granola. About you already having the pottery supplies. That's... Oh, I see. Yeah, so... Painting pottery is expensive. Yeah, I could see that. So, I mean, I'm down to do any of it, so... Getting the... I think just doing like a normal painting party would probably be better speed for our group. And it's, I don't think a lot of people in that group do a lot of art, usually. But, yeah, especially if we can just leverage each other's supplies for, like, just painting. I don't have a whole lot to contribute to that myself. We do have a few, like, of those types of paints from, like, stuff Keeley does. But yeah, that would be a lot of fun, doing either of them. Is Garrett awake yet? I noticed he and Ben were... Well, they've been just basically working on a 72-hour streak of playing Monster Hunter, it seems like. Him and Ben. So, curious if he's even awake right now. Wow. Yeah, he's so cruel. That's pretty funny. Just thought you were watching some random dude. Keely always asks me if he watches my stream, and I always tell her no. It's actually kind of sad. Every person that's chatting should be like, is that Garrett? Is that Garrett? I'm like, nope, none of them are Garrett. Quite honestly though, like, I like content creation, it's been really fun, but I'm actually not a huge, like, religious stream watcher either. So, I can totally understand it. Those edges. We'll probably need to go over this guy with a second coat, unfortunately, because, not unfortunately, but like, we'll need to go over this guy with a second coat. We need this base layer to be really solid. Some of the priming is very dark. We need a really solid base layer. We're adding the shades to it. Let's go. Dang, Mario Club music. Don't hear that every day. Yeah, definitely see that. I mean, I'm probably thinking, actually what I'm trying to do is get a capture card. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to play it on the side, so I don't know if I'll start over or if I'll continue where I left off. But in once I get the capture card, I might start streaming like Demon Souls, since I've been really liking that game. So maybe like after I finish Resident Evil, I'll maybe do Demon Souls next. I know he likes that more, so yeah, you definitely don't have to watch, like, you don't have to watch if the game's like completely uninteresting. Like at that point, you know, why are you even there, right? I know Viet likes to put my stream in the background just to help out, and like listen and stuff, typically. He might even be lurking right now. But really, like, yeah, I totally get it. It is actually pretty interesting. There are people like John Diacon, he like they're a type of audience that will stay, you know, for the content creator, and they'll just like, they're down for pretty much anything. Yeah, he'd watch that. I figured he would. I'm like horrendously just stuck at this one section just because I'm so bad at it. So yeah, I don't know, like curious if what I should do once I do start that, if I should start over or not. Part of me kind of wants to, just because I like documenting it from the beginning. I'm actually a little bit worried that I'm stretching my topics a bit too thin on this channel, but I think ultimately it is my channel. I get to put what I want on it. You know, these are things I like to do. I think it's not really a bad thing necessarily. It's kind of thought that I had. Like if someone came for a certain game, right, and then they find out you rarely play that game, or this is only a third of what you do, it's like kind of wondered if that's overall hurting, you know, compared to if you just picked a lane, stuck with it. Yeah, I definitely, that's sort of the philosophy I'm taking, right? Like, I just figure I'll do what I like, you know? People can selectively watch. This is basically shaping up to be a variety channel, and you can, I think you fully can get started as a variety channel and not have to, like, first attract a bunch of people based off the games you play. I don't have to make it big. I'm just here to enjoy myself. I think talking to and talking at people just runs in my family, at least on my mom's side, because my grandfather was a teacher and he loved to teach people, loved to like teach people about anything, even if he didn't know anything about it. And then, like, my mom loves to lecture people on stuff like that too. She'll just lecture you about life and why your health is, like, you know, in decline and all that stuff. She's got all this knowledge to share with you. And my brother, he has an affinity for tutoring and teaching. I used to teach a bit, and I just like talking at a digital wall, you know, to a bunch of an audience. So I think it's just, maybe it's just like runs in the family. Obviously, in this case, the wall talks back. It's not that as lonely as it sounds, because I just made it sound actually pretty fun. I think I'm going to tentatively try working in painting into the streaming schedule. I don't know if I can do every Sunday compared to like the dedicated time slot I kind of have for my Saturday and Thursday one. But I think overall I can definitely do this pretty frequently on Sunday morning. actually thinking for my next group of figures, I'm probably going to do some Imperial Assault one. Some traction on that finally. Long lost traction on that. That would also be a pretty nice game. Have fully painted. Get back from the whole COVID warrant. We can play that as a group and maybe have some more painted figures. One. I don't know if it's visible on camera, but you can actually see a pretty good difference between, like, say, this guy's left arm versus right arm. Like, the left arm has a more solid finish to it. Kind of hard to tell on the camera, I think. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you like this, let's definitely keep it going. Yeah, I definitely like. I think the big thing I struggle with these types of projects is definitely I want to say, like, the alone factor of it, or sort of the fact that you're sort of just, you know, there's sort of this, like, in a room studying or very individual aspect to it. So being able to, you know, break out of that a little bit is really nice. It's cool that you're might be taking some classes, taking summer classes. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'll definitely iterate on this and see about maybe, like, zooming in or something on the camera, just like messing with the camera settings a bit more, see if I can get a more close-up shot. I think this is a pretty good, like, proof of concept. But I think the miniature is a little bit small right now. But maybe on camera, so maybe I can, like, zoom in the camera, put down some tape so that I know what my my focal area is, and then I can go from there. Right. After that. Touch up the back area that we started the stream with. Much better. Definitely looking a lot better. This front now. Always really unhappy with the first coat, but the second coat always makes it look really good. First coat always looks dirty, but now it's starting to really pop out a bit. So. Alright, let's hit up those chin guards and we can probably call this guy done for this step at least. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Hello, the extra people that joined just now. We're just doing some finishing touches on this guy. We've made a lot of progress today. Boosting our base coat right now. That looks good. Do the other leg real quick. what I'm looking for is there's like little black specks that are from the primer underneath. We're just trying to find them for the above, basically. Tidy up a bit. Evenly, I guess. Last touch-ups on this guy, but I think we're pretty much wrapping up. I've pretty much completed this guy during the stream. This base coat, I mean. This is by far the most time-consuming, one of the most time-consuming steps of the process, just because there's so much surface area to cover. Even the highlight stage, I don't think will be this long. Alright. I'll go over his top of his helmet. His helmet looks ugly. Okay. I'm gonna take some black and do a very, very small touch up of some of the places I hit. And after that, we'll probably call it for this step. He looks good. Okay, that looks good. And just update the edges a little bit. Okay, I think we're gonna call it here. I'm just keep seeing things that I want to touch up though. Probably case. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that for today. So we basically started with something that looks like this, and we turned it into something that looks like this. This is just a base coat, so we'll probably be doing more of these next time. And then eventually we'll get to the washing section, where we'll be adding some shade to these colors that we've established for our base tones. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching today. I'm probably gonna cut the scream here a little bit earlier. But yeah, this was really fun. This was really fun first attempt at this. So, hopefully we'll have a few more of these in the future. So, all right, I'm gonna get up and go. Cut the stream now. So. Have a good rest of your Sunday, everyone.